I have a question regarding this document. We'll call it the schedules. This document has on the second page, I believe. Yep, second page. It says format for appropriations at the top. In that first paragraph, it states the general fund appropriations will be at the department, personnel services, and other level at a minimum.
Correct.
And will match the mayor's estimate. Appropriations for all other funds will be passed at the fund level. What does this line "and will match the mayor's estimate"? What does that mean? What's the significance of that line?
Well, that's basically the budget that's brought to this body to approve. I mean, it's really the mayor's budget, it's not my budget. So when we bring the appropriations for the year, temporary or otherwise, is really the mayor's budget or estimate.
Yeah, it says the mayor's estimate. It says that appropriations will match the mayor's estimate. Is that saying that they will match it verbatim?
Well, yes, it has to, which basically, like I say, there's a budget that's brought appropriations. You had a temporary, we had one in March, then we had an amended one a couple weeks or a month ago. Those are basically the mayor's estimates. And so these projections are driven from those.
In the charter of the city, it states that the council shall prepare appropriations based upon the estimate brought forward by the finance director. So we are going to change that, and we're going to operate under, this will be the appropriations, council shall pass appropriations that are verbatim the mayor's estimate.
I'm not saying verbatim. The council will approve them based on whatever changes they make. The mayor will submit it, just like we had a correction tonight. If there's a correction or a change during the discussion, you know, because the mayor does not approve the document, the council does.
So perhaps we could
Mr.
look
Brownlee,
at...
that's your third question. You're going.
Continue.
You're continuing.
Conversation.
You have three different questions.
So-
Could you please summarize them?
So in this, this last section of the sentence, it says, and will match the mayor's estimate. Perhaps we should change that and will be based upon the mayor's estimate. So it is more in line with what should actually be done rather than passing verbatim, which this is kind of implying.
What's the word verbatim in there?
It says, and will match the mayor's estimate, which would imply exactly. So I would say that we should change that and will be based upon the mayor's estimate
I'll take
instead.
it back to the team. I mean, these are their wordings. They draft these wordings.
So you're suggesting that we challenge the auditors and change their language? Is that what you're saying?
I'm suggesting that, I don't know who suggested this, but...
Irene just said it's the auditor's language.
Actually, she didn't. She said the team. But
For the auditing team.
The auditing
Okay.
team.
So we'll match the mayor's estimate. I don't think that that's exactly wise to give the administration all the authority to set the expenses in the city, to set the appropriations, and that is the primary function of this body, is to set the appropriations year to year.
So what did it say before you read those words? I mean, what was the whole sentence?
It says the general fund appropriations will be at the department, personnel services, and other levels at a minimum, and will match the mayor's estimate.
Right. Which means that what we bring forth will be the mayor's budget that will match the mayor's estimate. That's true. When
It
we
says
come-
appropriations, the general fund appropriations will match the mayor's estimate.
And they will. When we bring the appropriations to you, it will be from whatever the mayor approves to come to this body for them to be legislated.
Yeah, I think that that's unwise to sign over all of our authority
That's
to
not what it says.
appropriate
Somewhere in there it
to,
should
to
say
the
that the
mayor.
council has to approve this.
Oh, that's exactly what my whole point is. That it should be based upon, but at council's discretion, because council does have the authority vested in it to make appropriations.
There's the budget commission will not accept any budgets that's not legislated and signed by this body. So regardless of who put the numbers together, what's sent to the budget commission for the Cuyahoga County will have to have legislation and ordinance resolution number as all the others. The mayor is not the one that will be approving that, it'll be this body.
Right. And will match it according to this language here. So that's the point, we need to change
Mr.
that.
Brownlee, what we're bringing forth is the mayor's estimate okay? And what we're
And our
saying is,
appropriations are demanded that they
and
match
the
it.
appropriations will match, what we will bring forth will match.
Well, I don't plan to sign over my authority to decide
That's fine.
what's spent. Well,
That's your
then,
prerogative.
if you don't want this passed tonight, then I guess you'll leave it as it is.
It's not mine, it's the city's, okay?
Okay, but I do believe that at this point in time, we need to ask another comment. Anthony?
Well, it's not a comment, it's just a question on the three funds of the economic development, the mechanic, and the home delivered meals. You haven't projected anything out for 2015 at all.
In the fiscal financial recovery plan, we're only dealing with deficit funds. This is not the entire city's budget. This is only the funds that put us into fiscal watch. That's what this is. You have those projected in the amended appropriations back the 9th or so of this month, earlier when we approved the 2014 amended appropriations. Okay, that's for the entire city. This is only dealing with the recovery. We're recovering the deficits.
Right, but this is, all three of these are in the general fund, which is negative. I was just wondering why there's nothing forecasted. Either we're not going to hire them, which is fine, and we're not going to deliver home, the hot meals, or is that covered by a grant?
Okay, I think the mayor sort of said that the economic development functions are being covered by the administrative team. I think at the last meeting, we discussed that some is being covered by the legal department. Kathy said she's covering some. So those functions are being spread throughout the city amongst the directors. So the function didn't go away, the body.
So we're not going to hire somebody as an economic development person.
That would be the mayor's decision, but based on where we are now, it's not projected to bring that body in. But I think the mayor mentioned that he's doing a lot of the economic development functions.
Right, and same with mechanical.
No, I think he said we're going to outsource that, which we are doing a lot of that anyway. A lot of repairs are going out to the repair shops. For those that we do.
If you could talk just a little bit louder so they pick it up.
I'm sorry, Manager, I asked Irene if most of those repairs were done to the ambulance building, basically if they were done to the back.
Well, some of them are being charged, and I think what we spoke to last time was that we were going to break out so we know exactly which department are ordering the repairs at our last meeting, discussion of mechanics.
Okay. Any further comment? Okay. Yes, please.
Ordinance number 2014-60, an emergency ordinance approving the mayor's 2014 financial recovery plan and directing that the plan be submitted to the Financial Planning and Supervision Commission at their first meeting of the Financial Planning and Supervision Commission for the city of Maple Heights, Ohio.
May I have a motion for adoption, please?
So moved.
Second? Call the roll.
Turjansky.
Yes.
Agee.
No.
Adams.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Sefrati.
No.
Jackson.
Yes.
Brownlee.
No.
This passed by the majority, effective 30 days, 4 yes, 3 no. Ordinance number 2014-61, an ordinance amending section 148404 and 148405 of the codified ordinances, decreasing the fees for the notice of foreclosure properties in the city of Maple Heights and declaring an emergency.
This ordinance is also on its third reading, and we have had previous discussion on this. Is there anything lingering that we need to question? If not, may I have a motion for adoption, please? Alex, second.
Second.
Call the roll.
Alex and Richard.
Mhm.
Okay. Trojansky,
Yes.
A.G.,
Yes.
Adams, Jones,
Yes.
Safrati,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Brownlee.
Yes.
Passed by the vote, 7-0. Resolution number 2014-62, a resolution authorizing the mayor and the law director to negotiate a lease contract with SBA Towers 5 LLC for a perpetual leasement agreement of a cellular tower site at Dunham Park in the city of Maple Heights and declaring an emergency.
This ordinance is also on its third reading, and I believe we have all gotten an email from our law director clarifying some of the discussion points that we had last week. So if there is no further discussion or question here, may I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trojansky,
Yes.
A.G.,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Safrati,
Yes.
Jackson,
Abstain.
Brownlee.
Yes.
Passed by the vote, 6 yes, 1 abstain. Resolution number 2014-63, a resolution urging the Cuyahoga County Council to pass ordinance number 2014-14, an ordinance introduced by Cuyahoga County Executive Edward Fitzgerald, establishing the Cuyahoga County Property Demolition Fund to eliminate abandoned and blighted properties in Cuyahoga County and declaring an emergency.
This ordinance is also on its third reading, and I do believe we've had some discussion on this as well. So may I have a motion for adoption, please?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trojansky,
Yes.
A.G.,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Safrati,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Brownlee.
Yes.
Passed by the vote, 7-0. Resolution number 2014-64, a resolution repealing resolution number 2014-46, which would require the transfer of all existing and future funds assessed and collected for garbage and rubbish collections in the city from the solid waste collection fund to the general fund and declaring an emergency.
May I have a motion to suspend the rules and place this resolution on its third and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Could I have who seconded, please?
Richard?
And Adam?
And Alex. Call the roll to suspend, please.
Trojansky,
Yes.
A.G.,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Safrati,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Brownlee.
Yes.
May I have a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Is there any further discussion?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Brownlee?
In the ordinance itself, it states in the 4th whereas clause that the state auditors, in their time spent here, recommended that we monitor this fund as its own special fund to see how it is performing, and I think that would be wise to take their advice in this matter. And then in the last whereas statement, it says, in order to ensure the will of the people, and of course the recommendation by the state auditors, but it is the will of the people to have their trash monies in a place where they can readily observe how much is being collected, whether it's enough to pay their bills or not. I know a lot of folks are already upset at losing part of their trash services, and they're wondering why, considering they are paying for the special assessment on their taxes. So I think that this is definitely a wise move to ensure that both the will of the people and the recommendation of the state auditors is carried out, that we repeal Ordinance 2014-46, which sought to abolish the special fund of the trash collection fund. We should keep that fund so that there is transparency and so that we can see how well those monies perform, as was stated by the state auditors.
Any other comments, please?
Madam President,
Mayor?
the word of the night is either hypocrite or hypocrisy. why you so eloquently quote the state auditors, their mandate. Why is it that you cherry-picked the ordinance to transfer all of the money out of the rainy day fund, went against the state auditor, and left money in that fund when they told you to transfer the entire amount? So now you're going to draw them like a gun in a gunfight and say, we have to listen to them. 100%. You didn't listen to them before, but all of a sudden now you want to listen to them. So you're either the biggest hypocrite that ever walked in this building, or we know you being a politician, what that makes you. So it's good one time, but not good another time. Is that what's going to happen here tonight? That we're going to leave money in a fund that the state auditors said transfer all of it. We're going to ignore you because you don't know what you're talking about, but all of a sudden tonight, we know you're talking 100% right. So we're going to listen to you and we're going to do what you said. Is that what this is?
Any other? Go ahead, Tony.
Madam Chair, to Finance Director and to the Mayor, when we just passed the approval of the financial recovery plan, we also approved on page 9 the transfer from the solid waste collection fund, and we just approved those line items all the way across. So how do we deal with this vote right now when we already voted to keep this in this budget?
Madam President.
Go ahead, Mayor.
As we know, when these two ordinances were voted on within the same night, there were colossal blunders made during roll calls for both ordinances. There was confusion, there was, hollering out during roll calls, and it was a mess, really. I've never seen anything like it. And then to have the ordinance not circulated for signature and put in a drawer, violating the city charter and who knows how many state laws, and all of a sudden, we're going to get a new legal ruling and it's going to reappear for signature. That's all fine. If you want to repeal this, go right ahead. But I'm going to ask you again, do you really know what you're doing? Do you really know how to vote, and do you know how not to be a hypocrite? Because the state is going to know when they look at this that you left money in here when they told you to move it all, and then you're drawing them, like I said, like a gun out of a holster. Oh, we got to listen to them because we're in a fight with the mayor. So do what you want. I'm trying to do what's right here. The general fund needs money. This is a way to put some money in the general fund. We all know that when the property tax comes in, 6 months later, that out of the general fund, those 6 months prior, we have to pay the rubbish fees. We have to pay those bills. So where do we get that money from? We don't wait to call Waste Management and say, hey, we're only getting money every 6 months, so you're going to have to wait for your payment. So if you want to repeal it, go right ahead. But stop being a bunch of hypocrites. Learn how to vote. You can smile and smirk if you want, because I know you think everything's a joke, and it's real funny. Maybe one day, this will all get sorted out, and you'll learn how to vote, or you figure out how to vote. And we won't have to go back and forth like this. Because I can tell you, it's not that hard.
Is there any other discussion, please? Tony, go ahead.
So this resolution is repealing 46, so it's repealing the transfer of the money to the general fund. So a no vote keeps it as is.
A yes vote will.
So when we had the discrepancy, what actually came about with that, not to confuse the issue? Is it staying in the general fund, or is it staying in the fund? I need clarification on that, just because of what was going on.
But repealing, if you want to repeal it, you vote yes. As far as what we're repealing, I didn't bring it with me. I think that's...
We did get a memo.
I think that's the... I wasn't here. I was on vacation. But yes, this is the yeah, I know the 64, if you want to repeal it, you vote yes. If you're repealing 21, if you're repealing 2014-46, but I don't know what 2014-46, I think you're right, that's the one that we were going to put it in the general fund, but I'm not 100% sure of that.
So if we say, if we, everyone, or,
But the third reading, so.
no, it's a suspension, so we have to have more than.
No, we already voted on the suspension, 7 yes votes. Now it's on the adoption.
Right.
You vote yes if you want to repeal
That's correct.
2014-46. You vote no if you don't. 46 would transfer the money to the general fund.
Okay, Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Jackson?
And I guess that's the one thing I still think maybe not be clear. By repealing and voting yes, we're actually saying what?
That you don't want the money moved into the general fund.
That we don't want the money moved into the general fund. That's,
Okay,
yeah,
is everyone,
I just-
everyone clear? Yeah, Alex, go ahead.
Jackie, I know we had confusion in that vote on 46. We also have an opinion by bearer. Ordinance 2014-47 supersedes ordinance 2014-46. Can't be no clearer than that. Ordinance 2014-47 passed 4-3. And that takes effect in 30 days. That's that opinion by prayer, which was here that night. And there was confusion because you got the two ordinances, 46 and 47. We voted on 46, was going to go with 47. And I still stand on that 47, that the money stays in the fund. I'm basing my vote on prior. The money that was designated for that waste collection was gone. Not stolen, not embezzled or anything, was used for other purposes. We on council and the finance committee had no idea or even told by finance director that we is in arrears on the waste collection. And I think we could go through the record and find. But my thoughts on it is, thank God that we had waste management to deal with and let us make payments to catch up. And that's what we're doing. I feel that we should never, ever be put in that predicament when we have an ordinance that past council has approved, passed, written up, that says that designated fund and monies will stay in that fund to pay for garbage collection. So I have to stand on that, and that's the way I'll vote, and I urge council to vote that way. But if there is an excess down the road in that fund, you can always come to us, Mayor, and say you have an excess of $250,000, and you'd like us, council, to authorize that $150,000 to be put into the general fund to support the general fund because our collections didn't come in. I would sure vote for something like that. I would give it serious consideration because I want to do what's best for the city. But from our prior actions, I'd go with keeping the money in that fund. Thank you.
Thank you,
Madam
Alex.
President,
I'm sorry.
may I speak?
Go ahead.
Councilman Adams, I appreciate your sugarcoating of the events, in as much as you voted yes for 46 and voted yes for 47. Also, when you made a motion, along with Councilwoman Jones, to reconsider your vote, you voted against yourself by voting no. Then hence came the legal opinion, which 47 cancels 46, which all would have been for not if you would have stuck to your vote the first time. But then you voted the same way the second time on a conflicting piece of legislation. All I was trying to say was, let's get some clarity here. Let's get everybody on the same page. You only get one vote. This isn't Chicago. You get one vote. One vote, either yes or no, on one ordinance.
Okay, and
I don't know what that means.
Point of order.
May I ask?
I would suggest that we end the discussion and actually vote. I think you've all given your opinions, and I think it's time to move on this.
Okay.
One moment, please.
I just want to say we're voting on the adoption of 2014-64, which would repeal 2014-46. Does everybody understand the vote? Turjansky.
Yes.
Agee.
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Jones.
No.
Savrati.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Brownlee.
Yes.
The vote was 6-1. Passed.
Thank you. I appreciate your moving on these, all of the pieces of legislation that have been hanging. We have had almost 11 meetings since the last week in June, so hopefully we can concentrate on the recovery plan and others and the upcoming issues that need to be addressed. At this point in time, there's no further business to come before this special meeting, and this meeting is adjourned at 7:00.